All right. I think we should be live now. Let's see if it kicks in here. Give it 1 second here. Oh, you know what? We've got this thing going. All right. There we go. That we need to get rid of. Let's see. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me all right. Try and test it out here myself. Okay, cool. Yeah, sounds like it's good. It's actually really loud. All right, wait, fantastic. We'll close this. Cool. So let's go ahead and get started. Great. So thanks everybody for joining. Let me see here. Cool. So thanks everyone for coming out. Welcome to the live stream. So as always, we're gonna be here for a bit, probably for about an hour. As you're coming in, feel free to say hello. Let us know where you're joining from. Say hi and feel free to ask your questions. And then as you're asking the questions there, we'll have them stack up. We'll go through a few things here at the beginning, and I promise we'll get to as many of the questions as possible. If not all of them, we'll do our best. So say hi as you're joining, and we'll go from there. Let's switch back over to our stream here. Fantastic. So, hello, Jeff. Jeff, good to see you. Greg, glad to be sitting in a live Q&A. Hey, glad to have you. Thanks for joining. Cool. Thanks for checking the audio there for us. I like the dog, by the way. Very, very cute. Okay, cool. Actually, you can hear my dog jingling around there. He's he's in the room with me today, so you guys will hear the rattle. Okay, so we've got a handful of people with us now. Let's give them a few minutes because we literally just kicked off. We're only 2 minutes in, so let's wait a few minutes here while we let the other folks come in. What we can do is, in the meantime, let me see about here. I wanted to show you guys. Yeah, so we've got here. Where was it that I wanted to show you? It was actually here. So if we take a look at our performance rewards. Yeah, here we go. Perfect. So cool. So we're at 2 blocks right now for this epic. I know this was kind of a painful trough that we went through here, right? Where we had the nothing here and then the nothing for these two. That was pretty rough. So as we were saying, we'll start off kind of talking about that a little bit. So Hans, no, here we go. So we'll pull this up here. So yeah, no wrong questions. Won't necessarily answer everything, but feel free to ask any questions that you want. We're going to try and keep the conversation focused as much as possible to Cardano. But if you have other questions about other coins, if they're ones that we have some background in, we'll be happy to answer them. But we'll go as we go. So yeah, say hi as you're joining, and then we'll go from there. From a probability standpoint here, kind of what we were talking about, we got some really bad luck here with these 2 epics here. But one thing I wanted to show you guys, for those of you that are delegators, if we come over here, this is what we were talking about the other day, where from a probability standpoint, you can see for those epics that we got 0 blocks, right? We have like only a 10% chance of getting 0 blocks. We actually have a lower probability of getting 0 blocks than we do of getting 4 blocks. So pretty rough that we had those 2. But Jeff, who's actually in our Telegram group, as he very correctly pointed out, that probability is a long game, and let's try not get too spooked by some of these like little things that happen here, because these pendulums swing both ways. And so I highly expect that we'll be getting some pretty good epics coming up. So yeah, that's just kind of how this goes, unfortunately. So there's a few things wanted to chat with you guys today. We'll go over some Project Catalyst stuff. I wanted to show you the new website. Any questions you guys have, by the way. So Project Catalyst registration ends on Friday, this Friday, like 2 days from now. So if you want to get registered, make sure that you do before that deadline. And yeah, we'll dig into that in a moment. What I will say, let me turn my speakers off here. There we go. What I will say is that, oh yeah, we were supposed to do this live stream a week ago, right? And then, no joke, everything was all set up. we're ready to go, and then the laptop died right before the live stream. So apologies that we had to reschedule. That actually also knocked us out for being able to do the weekly recap, but we're now back on schedule again. We should be good to go. So appreciate everyone's performance there as we the performance thing. Appreciate everyone's patience there as we work through that, but we should be good to go and sort of back on track here moving forward. So cool. Let's see how we're doing here. Sweet, we got about 11 people. So let's go ahead and dive in. So first thing we can take a look at here while folks are coming in is the new website. If you haven't seen it yet, come to woodlandpools.net. So Jaron did a great job with the rebrand of the website here. And we've got a much cleaner layout and some nice information for you. So got some good information about us and the pool and things like that. Some information if you're just getting started on how you can get started with staking. Here's some stuff about the channel. The tools that we'd previously built out now have their own section, and we'll be building out more tools, and we'll be adding them here as we go. The payout date estimator that many of you guys have already seen and worked with, and the rewards estimator as well. So yeah, so if you have a chance, come check out the new Woodland Pools site. It looks really great, and we look forward to building it out even further for you guys. So that was the first thing I wanted to make sure to show you all. The other thing is, and while folks are coming in, let's just go ahead and probably dig into it now. So, so with Project Catalyst, for those of you that have not registered, if you come to our page, you can see that we've actually put together, and we also made a playlist too. Let me open that up too. We also made a playlist specifically about Project Catalyst here on how you can get registered on any of the 3 wallets, Adalite, Yoroi, or Daedalus. And then also here, we put the weekly recap where we dug into Fund 4, and we got into some information about what Fund 4 is, how to get registered, and how to find more information about the different funds that are rather different proposals that are looking for funding. But if you have any questions about that, come and check out how you can get set up with either Daedalus, Yoroi, or Adalite. So a couple of things about Project Catalyst that I want to make sure that we all understand. So first thing, registration closes on Friday. If you haven't registered yet, you definitely should. And why, right? So we can actually pull open the FAQ here, and let's take a look at that. We looked at this really briefly. Here we go, FAQ. Let me turn on my little highlighting again. There we go. So, and let's actually look at it here. So registration starts here, the snapshot date, here we go. So here's our snapshot, the 11th at 11 a.m. UTC, okay? So the minimum funds that you need to participate is only 500 ADA. That's all you need. So let me go ahead and answer a few questions right now, some common confusions that we've seen in the past. This 500 ADA balance is your minimum requirement to stake, but it doesn't actually cost you anything to participate in the program, okay? So the way Project Catalyst works is, the way to think about Catalyst is that it is the sort of the trial run that the IOHK team is doing, leading towards Voltaire and governance and self-governance and sort of self-management of the network. And the way that that's going to work is by being able to vote on different things for different network protocols. A great way to get that started is to test it out by voting on proposals for things that can get funding, but using the same mechanisms that are going to be used when Voltaire is rolled out. So since the team at IOHK, obviously Voltaire is one of the longer term roadmap milestones, or one of the, what do they call it? The era is the final era after Basho is Voltaire for voting. So since that's the plan for that, what they want to do is have these different funds with catalysts underway, and then use that as a way to be able to test out how the voting mechanisms are going. And so because they want people to do that, the idea is that these are actually incentivized voting funds. So what will happen is, there was on here somewhere, trying to find, I know it's stated on Daedalus explicitly. Let's see if I can find what the rewards are. They don't, here we go. There's a rewards calculation that we can maybe take a look at. If this is, yeah, it's from Fund 3, but they have, I know that they talk about an actual amount. I want to say it's 140,000. I'm not sure. So this is 70,000 was for Fund 3. I believe it's 140,000 for Fund 4. But basically the way that it works is that since they want people to participate in this process, they're trying to incentivize folks to do it. There's $140,000 that's split up, and at the end, split up between everybody, and that'll be converted to ADA, split up between everybody that participated in the voting process. So it's no cost to you. You only need 500 ADA to participate. You can use whatever wallet you already have that you already have your ADA in for delegation. You can use a software wallet or a hardware wallet. And we have videos in all those. We have videos for all different ones and how you can do that. And it's incentivized. So why not? Plus, the other thing too is that you can get more informed about the things that are going on in the Cardano community, the different funds that are going on, and yeah, and just sort of know more about what's going on there. So cool. So that's a little bit of info about Project Catalyst. Let's see. Yeah, and actually, let me know if you guys have any specific questions about Project Catalyst. Some other stuff I wanted to show you, some resources on there. This Fund 4 FAQ will link in the description below. Give us some more information about where you can find out more info about the different proposals. But if you go to like IdeaScale, for example, this is where we can actually see more information about all the different proposals. We're going to put a video together that's going to dig into this a little bit more. But on IdeaScale here, we can see the active campaigns. These are all the ones for Fund 5, right? That's the next fund that's coming up. But here's Fund 4, and you can already see there's 6 main categories: the developer ecosystem, dApps and integrations, distributed decision-making, proposer outreach, catalyst value onboarding, local community centers, and then they always have one more about what's the challenge that they want to set for the next fund, right? So since Fund 5 is already set what those are going to be, right now we're voting on what's the Fund 6 challenge is going to be. So from here, you can come to any of these. You can see here, there's 79 proposals here, 134 here. You can dig into any of these and see what the actual proposals are. And so I highly recommend, if you've already registered, come to IdeaScale, make an account. It's really straightforward. You just, username and password, very simple. And then you can come and see an outline of each of the different categories. You can see an outline of what are the different metrics that they're trying to look, what's the problem they're trying to solve. Here's the flow that it'll work through, but we should be able to see here. Oh, here we go. Browse ideas, I believe is where it's at. Yeah, perfect. So here we go. So we are in the Fund 4 developer ecosystem category, right? Is one of many categories. And we can see here all the different proposals that people have submitted for this category. And we have a little infinite scroll here that just kind of keeps going. So a whole bunch of them. So highly recommend that we got a few days. Let's go back to our FAQ. We have a few days left in our registration period before the snapshot. Then from there, voting's going to open up. And here we go. So then voting will start, I believe the 15th is the following Monday, and it's going to go for 10 days until the 25th. So in the meantime, you might as well, if you're going to vote and participate in the incentivized voting process, you might as well go and take a look at what some of these proposals are and see which ones you might want to support. To give you an idea of which ones are already popular, you can see these little like applause symbols here. Like for example, people really like this one. But yeah, just kind of move through them and check them out and see which ones you like. If you want to dig into one, you can literally just click on it and open it up. And the cool thing about this is anybody can submit a proposal. So also like if you want to submit a proposal in the future, you can do that if there's something that you want to get funding for. So these are just community submitted proposals. And then they say here how much funding they're looking for. And then when voting opens up, the community, including you with your registration, votes on which proposals they think should be funded. And then of the funds that are available, they'll split out to the different funds that were approved or the proposals that were approved. So pretty cool stuff. All right, so let's take a look at some questions here. Hanger says, how do we calculate our voting rewards? So voting rewards that's what I just skimmed over it really quickly, but here we go. So we go to rewards calculation. I'm going to put this document here so that you can take a look at it, and we'll also put it in the description. But this is the formula that they're using. So basically, it's how much ADA are you staking total divided by how much ADA are you staking divided by the total amount of ADA that was in the pot of like everybody that submitted for voting, and then that fraction multiplied by the amount of ADA used for the incentivized voting. Like I said, this was for Fund 3. And it was only 70,000. If I'm not mistaken, what I saw in Daedalus when we were doing the videos for that is it's 140,000 this time around. So the more ADA you have, the more voting power you have, and therefore the more incentivized it is for the rewards that you get back. I mean, the same as how when you're delegating to a stake pool, right? Like the more that you stake, the more that you get back. But yeah, pretty straightforward ratio formula there. And I'll say again for folks that are joining just now, there is no cost to you. If you have at least a 500 ADA, you can do it. And your only cost is just the network transaction fee of like the 0.17 ADA or something like that. So yeah, so there you go. So Jack, can you do this through Exodus? Right now, Catalyst voting is only supported through Daedalus, Yoroi, and Adalite. For Daedalus and Yoroi, currently, it's only through the software wallets. And if you have a hardware wallet, you can do that this fund in Fund 4 with Adalite. And then I believe in Fund 5, they've already confirmed their plans to support Ledger hardware wallet support for Daedalus. And Yoroi is on the roadmap, but that one is not available yet. Okay. Stymie, you made a live show. You did it, buddy. Glad to have you. Hello from Always Sunny. Yeah. Always Sunny, sometimes Indiana. Exactly. Hello from Warm Sunny, Colorado. I could steal Charles's intro because I am also calling in from warm, sunny Colorado, where it's always warm, always sunny, and sometimes Colorado. But I won't steal it because I don't want to get hit with copyright infringement. I feel like he's copyrighted that at this point. All right, sweet. So welcome, guys. Let us know where you're calling in from when you do first join, and let us know any questions that you might have. All right. So what other questions do you guys got? There was, let me see here what's on my list of other stuff that we wanted to chat about. Oh, another thing that I wanted to point out. We had some people that were concerned on Twitter and some other places because they were worried that it seemed like our pool had disappeared. I want to clarify, we are still here. The reason why that happened was if you look, the new pool name, this is just like a metadata change that we did. The new pool name, we changed it from just being Aspen Pool to Aspen Pool by Woodland Pools. And the reason for that was because previously, if people were coming and like searching for our pool, if they typed in Aspen, that works fine. There we go. But if they were typing like Woodland or whatever, it wasn't popping up. Of course, you have to spell it right. It wasn't popping up. But now, if folks that are kind of confused and they don't know to search for Aspen, if they want to search for Woodland Pools, the name will pop up. But unfortunately, in Pool Tool, what you would use for Adalite, it worked immediately. But for Yoroi and for Daedalus, which I think they cache their results, it's working now as expected. Let's let this load up for a second. Come on, here we go. So it's working now as expected, and it appears here. But for those that were already delegated, what was happening was this here. Oh, here we go. See, for some reason, it still says unknown pool. Not sure why. But, I mean, the pool is there, and it's working fine. Like, if we go to Cardano Explorer, like, here it is. So right now, their search algorithms are already showing us in the delegation list. For some reason, this is saying unknown. So we're gonna wait a couple more days and see if this resolves itself. If not, we will we'll have to see how we get that fixed. But it's just a metadata thing for just like the name of the pool. It's just because we changed it to be by Woodland Pools, so it would show up more easily. So nothing to worry about there. I know that some folks that caught them off guard and they were a little bit worried about that. So I wanted to just point that out. Sweet. So cool. So we covered that. We covered the website. We went over this stuff for Project Catalyst. Cool. So nice. Oh yeah. So this is what we were talking about here from a probability standpoint, right? How we got the blocks here. We had 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, and then 0, and then 3, and then a couple of zeros here. But as we said, we should be good to go here with future blocks. As you can see, the most important thing, right, if we're looking at how this whole thing works, as you can see, the most important thing is that both the size of the delegation and the number of delegators keeps increasing. So therefore, the amount of blocks that are being assigned is also going to continue increasing. And while there is variability, like you can see here how this is kind of like popping up and down, while there is variability there, right, there's a sort of a natural oscillation. The further that we move up in the expected blocks that we're going to get, right, the less disruption it'll be when we get some of these unlucky rolls of the dice, for lack of a better word. So yeah, we just keep marching forward, and in the long run, it all kind of works out. Yeah, what other questions do you guys got? Let's get some good Cardano questions here. All right, so let's see. Question from Jeff. Would you mind explaining how staking works with rewards? I've noticed some confusion about, do you have to collect rewards for them to be added to the staked amount? Oh yeah, so great question. So thanks, Jeff, good question. So for rewards, this is always confusing for people. So actually here we have a perfect example. So this wallet, the one that we use for the videos for the registration, has 1,000 ADA in it. It's delegated to the ASPEN stake pool, right? For again, it's whatever the stupid unknown pool thing is. It's delegated to the ASPEN stake pool. It previously had like almost nothing in it, which is why the rewards are so low. And we just added more for the voting video. But we can see here that I've got these total rewards, right? And so people get confused when they start seeing the rewards coming in and they think, okay, well, do I need to like withdraw? Do I need to redelegate? Or how does that process work? Keep in mind, you only need to withdraw your funds from your rewards balance when you're planning on sending your ADA off of your wallet. So this is a good point to sort of stop and explain this. Your wallet and your addresses that are associated with it, right? Forgetting all other blockchains, for your Cardano wallet, now with both staking and Catalyst voting in place, you can think of your wallet right now as having like 3 different sets of registrations to it. You've got your registration for your value addresses, and that's like for these guys here, for your multiple addresses that actually can be sent ADA that reflects in your total value. You've got your staking address, which I have to find where the staking address is on your ROI. They're all in different places. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You have your staking address as well. Actually, it's fine. I can just show it to you here. So like we see here, like if we go to delegators, these addresses here, these are all staking addresses. These are not their value addresses. So for example, if I expand that and we go to, let's grab like our top address here, or actually, that's fine. Yeah, actually, here we go. So this is our pledge wallet. So if we do this and we come to Cardano Scan, we were looking at this before, weren't we? Here, let me take a look at this. So let's take a look at Cardano Scan. Okay, so now if this will actually help clarify. So this is a staking address that I'm pasting. And we can see here that this staking address also has associated other addresses. And so here we go. So I go to view all addresses. This is the value address, right? This is the staking address. And now with Project Catalyst, you're also going to have a voting address, okay? But all of these things are all tied together. So they each have their own registration and they each have their own address. That's why when you first created your wallet, there was a registration with the network that assigns you your value addresses. When you first delegated for the first time to the stake pool, there was another registration that happened there. That's what assigns you your staking address. And then when you registered to vote in Project Catalyst, you had another registration there, and that assigns you your voting address. So you can think of these things as 3 different sets of registrations and addresses, but they all tie down to the same wallet. The reason why I point that out is because if we go and look here at your ROI, these are your value addresses. This is actually your rewards balance in a separate address as well. And so even though if you want to send these funds off, you need to withdraw them, all of these things are still tied together to your same wallet. And then the delegation, when you're delegated to a pool, is the sum of these 2 things automatically. So anytime when you're delegating, when rewards come in, they automatically add up with your total value address balance. And this total sum is what is delegated for you to the pool. This is important to keep in mind because if we see here, for example, I only have 0.04 ADA in here. If I were to go to withdraw this, if I hit understand, and I'm not going to deregister, I'm actually not going to do it. It'll probably give me a confirmation, but I don't want to do it just in case. But if I did the actual withdraw, it would still charge me like the 0.17 network transaction fee to move those funds from my rewards balance to my total fund. So there's no reason to do it unless you're planning on moving your funds. Anytime rewards come in, it's automatically added to your total balance. Additionally, anytime that you add funds from the exchange, when you send it to one of your value addresses, that's automatically delegated as well. So think of it as sort of like a pointer, like you're saying this wallet, any ADA that's associated with this wallet, both in its value, the combination of all of its value addresses and its rewards balance, anything that's here, I've delegated to that pool over there. And so automatically just everything that gets added to here, automatically delegated to there. When the ability to delegate to multiple pools with a single wallet, when that comes along, there'll be some more nuance there. But for now, it's nice and simple. everything that's in your wallet is all delegated at once. And then I'll kind of add a follow-up here to Jeff's question and say that additionally, because of this whole long explanation that I just gave about the different kinds of addresses associated with your wallet, from the value address, the staking address, and the voting address, since all these things are parallel and they're all connected, you don't need to move or change anything with any of them. Like if you register your wallet to vote, you don't have to do anything with your delegation to a stake pool. I mean, you could actually register to vote and not be delegated to a stake pool, the same way you could be delegated to a stake pool and not vote. So these are different things. That's why they have different registrations and different addresses. You can do all of them, and then not one doesn't affect the other. Okay, so there's a nice long answer for you. Okay, so Jeff, does that okay? Got it. Cool. Glad that helped. And yeah, as you guys come in, let us know. Let me know any other questions you have, and also and do me a favor. Let me know where you're joining from. I do think it's fun to see where people are joining from all around the world. Yes, thank you. Jaren's got a good point. I haven't been on top of that. We've had a bunch of different viewers coming and going. Yeah, we only have 9 likes, and we've been having like up to like 30 or 40 people watching. So if you like what's if you're liking the stream, give it a thumbs up. YouTube will promote it to some other people, and we can get more folks in here that we can answer more questions. So cool. Glad that helped. Next question, Stymie. Probably already covered, but do I need anything to update for Project Catalyst, or is it automatic? So I'm going to start answering your question, and let me know in a follow-up if I'm misunderstanding. But I think what you're asking is, if you have your wallet and you already have your funds in it and you have more than the minimum balance, if other than registering, if there's anything you need to do. So let me know if that's your actual question. If it is, no, you're good to go. Well, okay, I'll say that with a caveat. Sometimes some of these wallets themselves require upgrades. So for example, Daedalus sometimes will require an upgrade, but it is explicit about it. It'll tell you, like it'll say, okay, cool. So we're good. I'm answering the right question. Okay, sweet. So Daedalus is explicit because Daedalus is a trustless wallet and it doesn't ask for any verifications from anybody else, and it does it all verifications on its own as a true Cardano node. Daedalus, when you load it, if for any reason it's out of date, it will tell you. It'll once it syncs up to the network, it'll tell you and it'll say, "Hey, listen, there's a new Daedalus version you need to download. So do that before anything," and it'll force you to stop at that point and install the new version. When we were doing the videos a couple days ago for how to register, and we were doing it with Adalite on the ledger. Similarly, as we were trying to go through the process, the combination of the wallet with the ledger itself explicitly said, "Hey, this version you have is out of date. You need to upgrade it." So if you're using a hardware wallet, as a best practice anyway, when you're doing a hardware wallet and you're doing any of these things, you probably want to double check that your firmware on Ledger Live and then the version of the app that you're using, that those are both the latest. But again, there's nothing you have to worry about that like you might be doing something wrong. If you're on the wrong version, it'll either tell you or it'll just not be working the way that you're expecting. And then if you just like, for Daedalus, there's no question, it'll explicitly tell you. But for Ledger Live, I did want to point this out as a separate troubleshooting thing. Anytime you're having trouble with Ledger Live or with your ledger, always double check the version of the firmware and of the app, because sometimes those warnings are a little bit less obvious. They're a little more silent, but regardless, it'll prevent you from doing the thing that you're trying to do. And then finally on Yoroi has their updates, but since it's a browser extension, correct me if I'm wrong here, if anybody knows like the inner workings of Yoroi, but since it's a browser extension, you kind of just get those upgrades for free anytime that you open a new tab with it. So so you're good to go. All you need to do is just register and that's it. And if you've made it through the whole registration process and you followed our videos on how to do that and everything worked the way that you expected it to, then you're good to go. You'll know that you're fine. One thing I did want to show here, actually, you just reminded me of, I'm going to refresh this. So we see here how it says your voting powers, how much you delegated, blah, blah, blah. Let me see if it shows me this here, because I had other folks that were having a problem with this. And I actually, oh, you know what, here, it was covered up when I was showing that. So let me hide this comment. Let me show this again. So when I went to, if I go to voting, okay, perfect. So this here is a confusing issue with Yoroi. So here, see how it tells you, you've not delegated your voting power, blah, blah, blah. And it's this big red pop-up thing. This is transient. This will go away. If you see here, it's still syncing up with what your total balances are. We had somebody that asked this in one of our, I think it was in the Telegram group or in one of our comments, and I hadn't gone through the registration voting process yet. But this here, there we go. See how it went away there? It's a bit confusing. It's kind of misleading, but it resolves itself. So, you know, like I always say, we're software developers. So like I always say, everybody has bugs, right? So it's not everything is perfect. So especially with a new technology like this. So let's just be kind of patient. And a lot of times with the bugs that we've seen with Yoroi, 99% of them, if you just wait a few minutes or wait an hour and come back, it resolves itself. The larger ones, they're usually really good about communicating what the issue is. Here we go. Now we're all synced up. The error went away. So we're good to go. Okay. So let's see here. So we're up to almost 30 concurrent viewers and still only 12 likes. Give it a like if you like the video. If you think that you know somebody that might enjoy the live stream and has a couple of questions, we'll probably be going for a little bit longer here. So feel free to share it with some friends if you think that they might also enjoy it. Hello from Never Sunny, Western Washington. So I got to ask, I thought that this was the good time of year in Washington. Is that not true? I thought this is like the time of year that you guys wait for all year. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I thought it was like in Washington they put up with the weather for just like this like pocket of like perfect weather. I heard it's like perfect right now. Okay, question. I have 2581 ADA. Is a monthly stake return of 7 high or low on eToro? It would be better if I put it in a pool myself, but then I had to sell and buy and pay taxes. Oh man, so there's a lot of good. This is like 3 questions in one. So let me start with the first part of your question. You have 2581 ADA is a monthly stake return of 7 high or low. So of 7. Let's see. We can I'm gonna try and like. All right, let's do this. Actually, you know what I do? So can I just pull up a calculator? I normally like just do this in the console, but that's fine. So let's do it here. So you have 2581 is your total, right? So now we need to keep in mind that the annualized expected return is roughly 5%. So this is what we should expect for the whole year. And there are 73 epochs in a year. An epoch is 5 days. So if we divide that by 73, you should expect about 1.7 ADA. Oh, so you're saying monthly. Okay, 1.7 ADA per epoch, which is 5 days. So then if we say roughly 30 days in a month, so 5 times 6. Yeah, so 7 is in the range, I would say. If we're doing 5%, it's 10.6. So then let's do this. If we do 7, which you're getting, divided by 10.6, it is 2/3 of 5%. So you're getting right now about a 3.3% ROS annualized. So that is on the lower end, if that's what you're getting on eToro. So that's the first part of your question. Expected returns are between 4 and 6%. It seems like right now you're getting roughly 3.3. So that is on the lower end. So for the first part of your question about what the number is, that's that. And now when you say, would you be better off to put it in a pool by yourself? I would say for a lot of reasons, the answer to that is yes. And actually what I'll do for you here is this video. I'm getting better about doing this because I normally don't remember to do this. But what I will say is this guy. You should check out this video on Binance dominance, where we specifically go into a bunch of reasons here. I'm going to link this for you here. This is for Hans. All right. Oh, cool. There you go, Hans. So that is our video where we dug into how Binance has a bunch of pools on the network. And actually, let me show you. We go into this in that video too, but I want to show you. If we go to groups, so I'm just going to open up the group of single pool operators. Let's see if I can quickly find my way to, here we go, groups. Fantastic. Okay. I'm going to have to maybe just mess with let's see how good ADA pools does at deep linking. And if they have semantic linking. Yes, very good. Okay. So here's what I wanted to show you about this. The whole idea, right, or one of the main ideas of distributed blockchains is the whole notion of decentralization. And if we look at the biggest groups by count, by like how many pools are in these groups, the largest group by far is single pool operators, and they have some other ones here. But if we look at the largest groups by stake in terms of the size of delegations to it, we see that in the lead is still single pool operators, but look at a close second here is Binance with 63 pools, right? So it is a concern, I think, that some of these exchanges that are standing up their pools are starting to get these big chunks of the network. I mean, 63 stake pools, right? Like, and we're all about like, hey, if things are going well and you want to start another pool, that's cool. Like, you know, some of the folks that we respect have multiple pools. If our pool is starting to near saturation, we'll open up another one as well. But 63 pools and 12% of the network is a concerning figure for one actor, especially if it's an exchange, right? Because they can have like their own motives and stuff. And so the way that you can support decentralization is by staking your ADA yourself to a pool that is run by a single pool operator. And then like when you're looking up that pool on ADA pools, it'll tell you if they're part of the single pool operators group. And to be clear, this single pool operators is what the name sounds like. So like there are a lot of great operators out there who have multiple pools, and that's awesome and good for them. But if you want to truly support the smaller, not even smaller pools, but the notion of decentralization, even larger pools, but that are only operating just one pool and that's all they're doing, you want to look for this flag on the pool when you look them up, and you want to support decentralization that way. If you do have questions on how to do that, we have a playlist that you can check out, and I'll link this for you here. Here. So this is our getting started playlist. So this guy is going to walk you through everything from, if you don't have a hardware wallet, you can skip past this, but then figuring out which of the 3 main wallets you're going to want to use. We give you an example with Yoroi, which is usually the most popular one that people will go with. How to select a stake pool using Pool Tool. Once you've gotten that set up, explaining to you the Cardano delegation cycle. And actually, Jaron, we should add the rewards payout estimator here. I'll do that as soon as we're done. And then also the 5 most common staking questions that we get all the time. So this playlist should hopefully help really demystify for you the whole process of how you can pick your own stake pool, put it in our Cardano wallet, and be good to go that way. So here, Hans, you get another one. I'm gonna give you get 2 ats in one stream. How about that? So here's a video on how, or rather a playlist on how to do that. Actually, I will say one more thing too, is that if you are intimidated by getting your stuff off of the exchange, there's also one more video that I want to show you, and you can check out. Where is it at? This guy. No, that's not what I want to do. This video here, it's a really short one, but this will show you how to take your funds off of the exchange. All right. So, oh, and then let me see if I better. Okay, right. And then question number 3, because you had this is actually a really dense question. There's a lot of stuff here. And so question number 3 was you'd have to sell and buy back and pay taxes. That is not true. So, well, depends on your country. So this is not tax advice. You know, check with a tax professional. But in most countries, from what we've seen, sending funds from a wallet you own to another wallet that you own is not a taxable event. You're going to want to double check that, but it should not be a taxable event to send it from your exchange to your wallet. And there should be no selling that you have to do. You've purchased your ADA, in your case, on eToro. You staked it on eToro. All you're going to need to do is when you've selected your preferred wallet and you've gotten it all set up, you're going to get one of the receive addresses like we have here on Yoroi. Get one of these receive addresses and then just send it to yourself off of the exchange, and that's it. And so since you're moving the money from your left hand to your right hand, there's no tax implications there in most countries. Double check to be sure, but that should not be the case. So I think that's more likely a confusion. So really good question there. Thank you for asking. That was a 3-fer. 3 good questions in one. Okay, so let me get caught up here on some other questions. Okay, so going back to our previous thing. So after July 4th is when the weather gets nice. Hey, well, in that case, you're almost there. You're really close to the great weather. Hello, Peace. Oh, hello again. Good to see you. You're in Washington too. Have 3 good months of weather usually, unless you're over the mountains. Okay, that's good to know. I know nothing about the Washington area. I've been to Seattle like once. I need to get out there. Okay, Mr. Dude. Is it best to join a pool around 80 to 90% saturation? And did I get it right that your entire balance of ADA is staked? I thought I did something wrong at first. No, you're good. So again, 2 questions. You guys are sneaking in multiple questions at a time, which is fine. And for other folks that are joining, I'm going to keep saying this. We're at 33 viewers now and only 15 likes. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And we're probably going to go for another 15 minutes. If you have any friends that you think have some questions that they might want to get answered, send them a link to the stream, and we'll be happy to answer any of their questions as well. So let's get to Mr. Dude's 2 questions. First question, is it best to join a pool that's around 80 to 90% saturation? The answer to that question depends on how active you want to be in the monitoring of the pool you've selected. And so that, so separately, I'll say you're going to probably want to check out this video on selecting the right stake pool for you. And we go into a lot of different factors to consider when you're selecting a stake pool. So this is for Mr. Dude. There's a video on selecting the right stake pool for you. We go into a lot of different factors that to keep in mind because everybody is different in their needs and what they're looking for in the pool. But one of the things that we get into there is we talk about the notion of how actively do you want to be managing this delegation, right? Is it something that you are planning on delegating and then saying, hey, I'm going to check back on this in 6 months and see how it's going? Or is it something that you want to be more active and you want to check every few epochs? What I will say is no matter how active you want to be, definitely make sure that you don't get so far over on the activity side that you work yourself into a frenzy where you're switching between pools like every epoch or so. And a good example of that, I talked about this earlier in the stream, but I'm not sure if you were around when we were talking about that, is this notion of probability, right? Is that in the long run, as long as a pool validates all the blocks to which it's assigned, which for example, with us, oh, cool. Perfect. This perfectly made my point. I wanted to say this, but we hadn't crossed the epoch boundary yet. Fantastic. In the long run, if a pool validates all blocks that it's assigned, it will get between a 4 and 6% return on stake as of the current rewards calculations and the current state of the network right now. But that can have some variability from epoch to epoch. For example, like we were looking here earlier, you see how we got in terms of blocks that we needed to validate, and the rewards you get is based on the blocks that you get. We got 2, then 1, then 2, then 1, then 3, then 0, then 3 again, then 0, then another 0. And so the thing is, that kind of hurt to go through these two. But remember, I was just telling you guys at the start of the stream, we were looking at this here. Actually, it was here. It's going to change, isn't it? Ah, yeah. So that's fine. When we were looking before, remember how I said that our probability of getting like 0 blocks at the time was about the same as our probability of getting like 4 blocks? I didn't want to give it away because I'd seen it on our command line interface that we have access to as a stake pool operator. But Jaron and I knew this was coming. The epoch that we're in now, and Jeff, you were talking about this in the Telegram group. The epoch that we're in now, we're about to get 4 blocks assigned. So probability works both ways, right? Make sure that even if you're being active and you want to be very active in monitoring what pool you're assigned to, make sure you don't get so overly active that if you see that your pool has just literally from bad luck, there's nothing else for it. This has nothing to do with like pool performance. If your pool gets bad luck and they get 1 or worse, like we had 2 blocks or 2 epochs of 0 blocks that are assigned to them to validate, don't take that as an opportunity to spook out and go fly somewhere else, because chances are, and this worked out perfectly like the way that Jeff was saying in our Telegram group, chances are that very soon after, that probability is going to swing back the other way and we're getting 4 blocks this epoch. So it all averages out in the long run. And by the way, I will say there's a good moment to plug for our Telegram group. If you're looking for a good group of like positive people that like helping each other out with a sort of a no jerks policy where everybody wants to just lift each other up, join our Telegram group and I will drop a link for that for you guys here. But yeah, so here we go. Here's our Telegram group. There. So all of that, I promise I'm gonna actually get to your question, Mr. Dude. So for your question of, is it best to join a pool around 80 to 90% saturation? What I was getting at was, how active do you want to be? And the reason for that is because if you join it at 80 to 90% saturation and things continue going well for that pool, it is possible, maybe even probable, that in the short term, they will hit saturation. And if they do, then what happens is the way the rewards formula is calculated is that the amount of rewards that you get, right, are directly proportional to the size of the pool. Let's look at, instead of doing it with my hands, I'll show you here. You see how this green line is the actual size of the pool in ADA? The rewards that you get will continue increasing with the size of the pool in ADA, so they proportionally move up together, right? So as you get more people, you get more rewards. The nice thing is that it reduces your variability because you're not worrying about getting 3 blocks or 0. You might be getting between 38 blocks and 32, right? So your variability goes down a little bit, and that keeps going up together, your size of your pool with the size of the rewards. But when you hit the saturation level, your pool can continue growing in delegation, but your rewards have capped out and they're not going any higher. So once it reaches saturation, you're still splitting the same total max rewards with more and more people. So you're taking a rewards penalty on that payout. So once you hit saturation, that's a place that you don't want to be in. So if you join a pool that's at 80 to 90%, that's fine because you'll be getting closer to the top end of rewards delegated to the pool, but you need to then be more active in watching it and making sure it doesn't hit saturation. So the counter to that is you can find a pool depending on your time horizon, how long you're sticking around. Like for example, if you were to and this is obviously a shameless plug, but if you look at ours, for example, you see the rise that we've been going on over just the past few months, right? You know that in the long run, you could just delegate to a smaller pool like Aspen. You see it's on an upwards trajectory and check in 6 months and see how things are going, right? Or maybe for you, it makes more sense. You don't want to be a pool as small as ours is right now. Pick one that's middle of the road or whatever and go from there. So a lot of different factors to consider for the right stake pool for you. But that's a great question because saturation is a thing that you want to avoid. So all of that was only for the first part of your question. I'll answer the second part a lot quicker. Did you get it right that the entire wallet of the ADA of the balance is staked? And you thought you did something wrong at first? You're correct. This is what we were talking about a little bit earlier. When you delegate to a pool, and you come to the delegation list and you hit delegate, well, I'll just show you. So when we had done the search for Aspen earlier, we're already delegated. But if you were to come and click on delegate, actually, all right, fine, let me do this. Let me clear this out. If I were to go to a different pool, I'll just get whatever one's at the top here. So this STI pool, when I hit delegate to them, here we go. You see, when we're doing it live, I can't edit out these these lags for you guys. Come on. If this takes too much longer, I'll just quit it. But let's see if it comes up here for us. Come on. All right, perfect. So we see here that in the amount that I'm going to delegate, right? This is a grayed out field. I can't change this. So currently, you can only delegate to one pool per wallet. They're going to add the ability for multi-pool delegation from a single wallet, but that ability is not there yet. So yeah, whenever you delegate, it's always your full funds. And then additionally, what I was talking about earlier, if you add more funds to that wallet or as rewards start coming into that wallet, all of that, the total of your rewards and your totals as you send funds to this wallet, if you're dollar cost averaging, for example, all of that is automatically redelegated for you. Great question. Thank you for asking. So we've gotten a few other people that have joined. Jack. So if I have a ledger and I'm on ADA Lite, could I stake to your pool and do Project Catalyst at the same time? Yes. So short answer, yes. If you want a longer answer, go back a little bit earlier. I went into this in detail, but long story short, you have your value address, your staking address, and your voting address. All three are associated with your wallet, but they're all independent. And so you can delegate to our pool and separately register to vote. Those two things are independent, even though they're all tied together to your wallet. So rewind it a little bit and you can check out a longer answer there, but yeah, you're good to go. And as a matter of fact, that's what we did with this wallet that we used for the video. It's delegated right now to Aspen. Again, we talked about this earlier. This unknown pool thing is because we just changed our name to reflect as by Woodland Pools. So the wallets are still caching and haven't updated that yet. But you can see here that we're delegated to Aspen, and separately, we've also set up the voting. So no worries there. You can do both. Tavo, hello. Oh, I lost my spot. Here we go. So Cerberus, during the bear market, how well does staking do against the market? So, okay. So I want to make sure I understand your question. By the market, you mean like the broader like cryptocurrency market, like buying and selling? So I'll give you an answer that I think is addressing what you're saying. Feel free to put a follow-up and then we'll go from there. But keep in mind that staking, your rewards are paid out in the value of the currency itself, right? So whether you're doing Polkadot or ADA or ETH2 or whatever, when you're delegating your ADA, you get paid in ADA. So it doesn't matter what the USD valuation of ADA is at that time. You know, sort of like how like purists like to say, they say the value of one ADA is one ADA, right? So if you're thinking about staking long-term and you're thinking about holding ADA for a long period, like multiple years, you need to kind of actually force yourself to divorce the notion of the market valuation of ADA at that time versus the total amount of ADA that you're holding. Because if you're holding 1,000 ADA and the price of ADA is 1 cent, right? And then all of a sudden you're holding 1,000 ADA and the price of ADA is $1, the US dollar valuation of your 1,000 ADA is different, but the amount of ADA that you hold is still just 1,000, right? And so the opposite is also true, that like, or not the opposite, but then if you think about that, like if you're staking during the bear market, right? And you're accumulating ADA and that ADA's valuation is at some lower number because we're doing during a bear market, right? As long as you're still accumulating that ADA and you're keeping your staking going, what you're getting is not a USD valuation. What you're getting is ADA. And so then when the market swings back up, then now all the ADA you've been accumulating, all of its value goes up as well because the total amount of ADA that you have has been going up and now the USD valuation has been going up. So it is convenient that it works out that way, that you can then sell your ADA for more money in some fiat currency, but you need to be careful about always making those two like inextricably linked, right? They are different concepts. One happens to have a valuation in the other, but the amount of ADA you have is just the amount of ADA you have, and that's it. Is this an actual pool to stake your ADA? Yes. If by that you mean our pool, like the Aspen stake pool, then yes. And if you would like to do that, please do. And anybody else here, yes. So, all right, our like to concurrent viewer ratio is getting better. If you like the content and you're enjoying the live stream, please give it a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm for other people to see it. We're gonna go for about another 10 minutes. If you know anybody that has any questions, feel free to send them a link. Drop any other questions in here. At the very least, say hello and where you're calling in from, and we'll finish strong here. I thought that it didn't work with eToro, but thank you so much. We'll check the vids. Yeah, so, oh, and you're calling in from Germany. Hello from Germany. I still need to go visit Germany. I've been to a lot of countries around Western Europe, but I have not been to Germany. So, yeah, eToro may or may not have their own staking. I'm not sure. You have to check that on their platform. But sending your funds off of the exchange should be a fundamental thing it can do. Now, that being said, I know some of them, for some weird reason, have the ability for you to buy it but not take it off, like Uphold, which is a nightmare. But you should be able to buy it and then send it off to your wallet. And yeah, check out those videos on how to do that. All right, P. Pena. I want to delegate my ADA via Toro with my Ledger Nano X. However, I'm having issues delegating. Every time I click, I delegate, I said something unexpected happened. No supported device found. Via Toro? So with the Ledger Nano X, to delegate on your own wallet, your only real options are going to be either Daedalus, Yoroi, or Adalite. And so we have this video here that compares them. But let me show you this playlist. If you want to just look at all of the wallets and see what they look like, we have this playlist where, here we go. So this one here is going to show you all three, and then you can see how to get set up on all three of them, or you can just pick the one that you want to look at. For, here's for Pena. Check out this playlist. It'll show you all of the wallets, and it'll show you how to delegate on each of them. For the something unexpected happened, the last thing that I'll say for no support device found, the last thing that I'll say, we talked about this a little bit earlier, always double check when you're using the ledger. This has happened to us a few times, and especially when helping other people. Always double check that the ledger itself is on the latest firmware, and then also double check that the Cardano app is on the latest version as well. So let us know. Yes, Woodland Pools. So yeah, so I'm glad you asked that. This is exactly the reason why we're having this annoying issue that people have been seeing where it says unknown pool, is because with a channel as Woodland Pools, but the pool itself is called Aspen. So we were having people that were confused because they were searching for Woodland Pools and they weren't finding our pool. So we changed our name of the pool, and it's just like a metadata, just like a property of the pool. Instead of being just Aspen Pool, we changed it to Aspen Pool by Woodland Pools. So now if you were to go and search for, well, here, I just did it here, for like Woodland, it appears because of the pool name. But the user interface in some of these wallets, if you have previously delegated, has not updated yet. And for some reason it says unknown pool, but you can see here that the pool key and everything, it's all good to go. So yes, ASPEN is our stake pool. Woodland Pools is the name of the channel. And if you want to delegate, you can search for either now, but the pool itself is ASPEN. Oh, cool. This is my question from way back. Yeah, so it's an average of those things. Sweet, glad that helped. All right, we got about 5 minutes left. See how many more questions we can get through. Getting closer on the likes. Please give it a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. Mr. Dude, glad that helped, man. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. I was wondering what you were talking about with Toro, with this question here. You're having a try to do it with Toro. Okay, thank you for clarifying. So your Roy. So you're having an issue with your Roy and says no, something expected to happen. So I would check 3 different things. One, as I mentioned before, sometimes your Roy has bugs, like everybody has bugs. If you have time and patience, just wait and come back and check on it later. If not, if you're feeling impatient, then you can always also go to, since you're using a Ledger Nano X, you can use Adalite, Datalist, or your Roy interchangeably. So you can come to adalite.io and you can pair your Ledger Nano X here, go to hardware wallet and unlock with Ledger if you feel like you want to like take care of it right away. And the last thing I would say is make sure that you check your firmware and version of the app. So you should be good to go. Hey, welcome to the Telegram group. Fantastic. There's a lot of really cool people in there. A lot of like friendly and helpful people. So glad to have you. Low saturation is good. High, not so good. Yes, I like that. See, you know what you should have, Chaz, you should be running the live stream. You're much more concise than I am and still get the same point across. Okay. Kui McKeon, I know I said that wrong. Started with you, wondering how it's going. Got a question too. Sorry I was late, but watch the first half after. Sunday swap. Gonna stick with you, might get a second wallet, great bids. Okay, Sunday swap, glad you asked. We were talking about Sunday swap with some folks a while back. Okay, what I will say about Sunday swap is this. For people that were on the Ethereum blockchain and they were doing liquidity pool stuff with Uniswap and like Pancake Swap and Sushi Swap and these other ones, some folks there have been able to find some really great returns providing these liquidity pools, right? But there is several different risks involved, like for example, impermanent loss. You should look that up if you're not familiar with how that works. But additionally, for a project like Sunday Swap, and correct me if I'm wrong here for those of you guys that have looked into it more than I have, but with Sunday Swap, the way that they're doing it is they're saying, delegate to our pool, we're going to take all the rewards, and then what we'll do is instead of paying you your rewards in ADA automatically through the network, we're going to send you Sunday tokens in anticipation of the launch of their Sunday Swap, which is going to be a competitor to like Uniswap. So that's my understanding of it. I've not dug into it too much. I probably should more. But the reason why I haven't, honestly, is because for us, like the whole notion of this channel and the reason why we started it about, growing your investment with confidence is that the whole idea of it is that we want to utilize things, methods and approaches and technologies that are trusted and they're known and you kind of know what you're going to get within reason. There's always like a risk involved in all these different things. But for example, when we're talking about buying ADA, right? You can try and set like these sniper levels and you can try and be smarter than the market, or you could just dollar cost average and just slowly buy in every week. You could, if you want, do a dynamic dollar cost average plan and buy more when it gets cheaper, or buy less if it's more expensive. And you can do different kinds of approaches. And there's lots of great videos that you can find on YouTube on how to do that. But you'll see that our approach is just a very straightforward, let's remove some of the noise and do this in an easy way. So similarly, with something like Sunday Swap, it's so new that we've deliberately not looked into it too much because at least like for our channel, we want to only cover and work with things that have already been vetted by the ecosystem, that have a proven track record, and that we feel comfortable recommending to our community members, saying either we've tried it and it's gone well, or people that we highly respect have done it and it's gone well. Sunday Swap is so new; they haven't even launched at all until very recently. All of their core members were all anonymous. I think they've now released their identities for at least some of them. But so these are some yellow flags, maybe not red flags, but at the very least, for the standard that we set for the channel in terms of let's grow our investments here with confidence in a slow and deliberate fashion, we kind of stay away from some of these brand new flashy things. So that being said, there are some really good channels that dig into these things and like to cover some of these bleeding edge type stuff, and recommend maybe check some of those channels out. But yeah, that's kind of why we haven't looked into it too much. What I will say from the perspective of our channel is the reason that we're staying away from it, for some of you that are brand new to the space, might be a reason to consider for you as well, to kind of just maybe hold off and let other people that are more ambitious and more excited, let them kind of see how the whole thing goes and then kind of go from there. Or if you want to chase that stuff and you want to be bleeding edge, do that. Let us know how it goes. Genuinely, join the Telegram group. If you have anybody here, I'll say this here. If anybody here is checking out Sunday Swap and you're going to do it anyway, right? Set up some risk mitigation, kind of like you were seeing here. You're saying, Kui, about getting a second wallet and potentially doing that. If you do it, let us know how it goes. And please share with the broader community, either in the comments or in the Telegram group. We'd love to hear. So there's a nice long answer for you. And thank you. I'm glad you enjoy the videos. Who runs Woodland Pools? Is it a secret? I can't tell you. If I tell you, I have to kill you. I'm a lizard person, just in a suit, running. And yeah, Jaren's another lizard person too. Will ADA ever reach 100? I don't know. It depends on, so right now, like market cap and stuff like that, you figure. So I can go to a whole other ramble at market cap. We'll do that maybe in a future live stream. But you need to think about it in terms of Bitcoin's market cap currently, if I remember correctly, is around $1 trillion. It's a bit under $1 trillion. And so to even like reach that level, Cardano would have to go up by another, I don't know what I have to even do, like 20 or 30x or something, right? And so anyway, so the numbers are like, short answer, for Cardano to ever reach $100, let me be clear. I think it's highly unrealistic, borderline impossible for it to happen this market cycle. But for it to happen ever, things have to go very, very well for cryptocurrency in general and for Cardano for it to hit that kind of evaluation with the market cap. That's a really high number. So, I mean, we'll see, right? But not a thing that I would think about a number to shoot for anytime soon. We can do a market cap conversation in our next live stream because we're running out of time here. But let's see. Yeah, in USD. Yeah, I got you. Server is cool. Glad you liked it. Keith, I'm a software developer. I've been a software developer for a while. Jaren and I are both software developers. That's our background. I lost where I was at. Joined late, may have answered. The wallet is showing ASPEN. Yeah, I know, Robert. It's super annoying. We changed the name to say buy Woodland Pools, and now this is all saying unknown. It's kind of obnoxious, but yeah, rewind it. We covered it in detail actually a couple of times, but the short answer is we added buy Woodland Pools, and now for existing delegations it says unknown for some reason. Yeah, name change. Sweet. Thanks, Greg. Do we need to restake or will it update? You were already delegated. No, you're good to go because the pool ID is all that matters. The name is just like a metadata property that sits on the pool. The important thing that ties everything together is the pool ID itself, and all that is good to go. So you're good to go. Hey, you're finally getting your ledger. Congratulations. That's super exciting. 3.5 weeks. Yeah, well, I know it can be kind of frustrating, but the cool thing is you're almost there. So congrats. What major catastrophe will supercharge crypto? So Cardi, that is a double-edged sword because a major catastrophe could also crash crypto. There's a lot of different things that could do that. We're running out of time. I promise if you come back to our next live stream in 2 weeks, we can dig into that a little bit more. I'm going to try and just do some rapid fire questions here versus my long rambles for the last few, and then we'll wrap it up. What is the best exchange to stake ADA? Current exchange is using ADA staking at 2%. I think the best exchange to stake ADA is to not stake it on an exchange at all, and you should stake it on a stake pool being run by ideally someone running only one stake pool, or if not, only a few. We have some good videos on how to select the right stake pool for you. I linked it a little bit earlier. Yeah, best exchange is not on any exchange. And we covered this also in a little more detail earlier. For more up to date, yeah, I'd say just wait it out or go to ADA Lite. So those from our previous question. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Checked out Sunday Swap, not comfortable giving ADA rewards. Yeah, same, you know. So, and there's also like not necessarily any guarantee that they're going to be sending you Sunday rewards, right? I'm not saying that they're not a legitimate project, but we have no way of knowing that other than just trust at this point. Videos are great. Only 5 people watching it. That's cool. Well, you know, that's fine. We're fine. And so this is again with the notion of the channel. We are totally fine with a slow and steady growth for both our own investments, for yours that are investing with us, and for the channel itself. We don't need, and we also don't necessarily want any explosively viral videos. We're fine, just kind of like, I mean, look at this here, look at this graph. This is the growth of the delegation to the channel and to the pool over the past several months. It looks like a nice steady growth to me. It looks even like nicer here on this graph here, this green line here. Totally fine. So if you guys are appreciating it, so I'll say, if you are appreciating it, ooh, look at our likes to viewer ratio is finally getting up there. Give it a thumbs up if you haven't been enjoying the stream. And then also share the channel with a friend, right? Like the best way is word of mouth. If you're liking it, share it with friends so that they can also learn with us. We can all learn together in real time. Trucker Down, what's the Telegram group? We linked it a little bit earlier if you scroll up in the chat. About to open an account for the first time. And so actually, Trucker Dan, I remember you were one of our early subscribers. I think Trucker Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, you were one of our subscribers from like when we had like less than 100 subscribers. So I remember that you've been with us for a long time. Really appreciate it. Good to see you back. And actually, you know what? Because you've been around for so long, here's, if nobody else didn't, here's Trucker Dan. Here you go. Here's a link to the Telegram group. Come and join us. Market cap divided by circulating supply. That's the price. Yep. 2 fees for first-time staking, or is it one for the pool or all pools? Okay, so when you first delegate for the first time, you have a 2 ADA deposit that you have to pay. That's a true deposit. You can get that back if you'd like. We saw that here on your ROI. If I go to withdraw, I can deregister and undelegate and get those 2 ADA back. Now, when you do delegate, it's the 2 ADA plus the 0.17 or so network transaction fee. When you go to withdraw, it's going to charge you a network transaction fee again. So even though it's giving you back the 2 ADA, you're going to be paying that 0.17 to get it back, which is why we say don't ever withdraw, or rather, definitely don't ever deregister unless you're never planning on delegating to any pool ever again. And don't withdraw unless you're actually planning on sending those funds somewhere. The deposit is a one-time thing. You only have to pay that once as long as you don't deregister. But the network transaction fee is something that you pay each time that you switch pool delegations. Oh, sweet. Thanks for doing the math for us there, Trucker Dan. I didn't have the numbers in front of me. So $1 trillion market cap. So that's great. So for the question about $100, assuming that Dan's math is right. And so Dan, I hope you're right here. Otherwise you can make me look bad. Assuming that Dan's math is right, $1 trillion market cap for ADA would be $31, which would mean it would need to be 3 times that. So it would be over $3 trillion market cap for ADA to be at $100. So that would mean it would need to be more than triple what Bitcoin is today. So that to give you some idea, right? We have a ways to go before we could ever hit 100. Joined the pool about 10 days ago, trying to figure out what all the fields are on Pool Tool. Oh, Chris, cool. So for that, we have a video specifically for that. I don't have time to link it again, but if you actually, I guess I do because I have it right in front of me. Fine. You win this time. Let's get this guy. Oh, I see. It's trying to do it from the playlist. Fine. We'll get you that link. There's the one we linked it a little bit earlier, but this guy is what you want. All of the fields on Pool Tool can definitely be overwhelming. So you're going to want to check out this one, Chris. This is for selecting the right stake pool for you. Glad that you joined our pool, but regardless, you can educate yourself on the different fields with that video. Yeah, cool, man. Just throwing out stats. Appreciate that. Hit the like button, folks. Really appreciate it. Personally think it can get there in 8 to 12 years. Yeah, potentially. Cool. Glad it helped. Small channels are the gems. Yeah, man. I'm really glad you appreciate it. Share the channel with friends if you're liking it. Oh, where do we go here? So appreciative. Yeah, man. Cool. So did the math a while ago. That's helpful. Great. Awesome. Okay, cool. So unless you guys are going to sneak in any last minute questions, I think we can probably call it there. A little over an hour. Lots of great questions today. Thanks for everybody that joined early. Thanks for Jeff for our first good question at the very beginning and for all the other great questions we've had. Always a pleasure. Let's do this again in 2 weeks. If not, we'll see you guys for the weekly recap. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We'll see you next time.